Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios. Today I'm reviewing the 75087 Anakin's Custom Jedi Starfighter. It's the only LEGO Star Wars set based on the 2D Clone Wars, but it's still a pretty cool concept for a Clone Wars set regardless. Anakin's Custom Jedi Starfighter released January of 2015 for $40 and retired after 2 years at the end of 2016. Today, sealed in the box like mine right here, the average cost is about $200 based on sales data from Brick Economy. This set has 370 pieces and 3 total minifigures. Our first one is Anakin Skywalker, then an unnamed astromech droid but we know him as R4P22, and then Asajj Ventress, who is the only exclusive minifigure in this set. The box art I think is just so cool for this set. The whole scene with Coruscant in the background looks just awesome. Turning to the back of the box, we have a nice shot of our 3 minifigs at the top, and then the set's play features are highlighted on it as well. Alright, it's time to unseal this set. If you appreciate me always giving you the full unsealing experience with these reviews, please hit that subscribe button, as that is the best way to support my channel and me making these reviews for you guys. Inside the box, we have the instructions manual and our sticker sheet, and then 3 numbered bags. Starting off with our minifigures, we have Anakin Skywalker. Now this version of Anakin is just a regular Episode 2 Anakin, not a special version for the 2D Clone Wars. You could also get this one in the 2013 75021 One Republic gunship set, which is the original set this minifig came in. The hairpiece overall for him I think looks fine, and then we get 2 different face prints. One is your classic Anakin smirk, and then a more kind of angry, battle-ready expression. Anakin's Jedi robe printing on the torso looks very good. There's lots of great detail on there which extends down to his waist and legs. There's also a nice looking back print on him as well. Now, here's where judging this minifig's accuracy is a little difficult. As I mentioned, this Anakin is from that 2013 Republic gunship, so it is truly an Episode 2 Anakin. Now, based on that, and an accuracy with it is how Anakin's outer robes are shown as dark brown, but in Episode 2 they are actually black. However, when it comes to the 2D Clone Wars, which this set is based on, they are actually a darker brown. So in its original intent, it fails in that regard, but it does find some redemption with this set's context. Now, one detail that doesn't work for the 2D Clone Wars with this version of Anakin is how he still has both hands. So you guys can see in this case there are pros and cons that come with reusing minifigs for different shows and time periods, but overall I just think it would have been great to have gotten a specific 2D Clone Wars version of him in this set. Lastly, of course, he comes with his blue lightsaber, which you just expect for Anakin. Overall, I do like this Anakin better in this set's context than I would have in the Republic gunship from 2013, so it's a pretty decent addition. But it's kind of crazy that since they did it right on the first version of him with that black printing, they couldn't have done it on this one in its intended kind of original use. Also, they really should have given him a yellow hand to complete his look a little bit better. That would have just made this reuse of Anakin a lot better in my opinion. Next is our astromech droid, or as I said earlier, R4P22. He's just a cool looking astromech droid. The printing looks good and he's fairly accurate to what you'd expect him to be like from the show. No back printing, but that's kind of to be expected for the time period. I think R4 is a nice addition for the set, but it will always be weird to get Anakin Skywalker with a droid other than R2-D2. Lastly, we have Asajj Ventress, and she is completely designed based on the 2D Clone Wars for the set, making her exclusive, and she looks incredible. The face print I think is awesome, and then the back of the head printing as well looks so good. I also have to give props for the printing on her front and back. It's just very accurate to the show's source material, and since she has black robes for pants, the all black legs I think work just fine here as well. Lastly, she comes with 2 red lightsabers with those curved hilts, which look just incredible as well. It really helps to complete her look. Overall, this Asajj Ventress minifig is just truly awesome. Taking our minifigs all together, we have a pretty good selection. Getting Asajj in the set is such a great addition considering it's Anakin's Custom Jedi Starfighter, but if you had to pick one minifig from the 2D Clone Wars, Asajj would be up there for sure, especially to go along with Anakin, and she's just easily the highlight in terms of minifigs too in this set. And here is Anakin's custom Jedi Starfighter. It's certainly a bit busy looking, but in hand it does look cooler than I thought it would have been. One thing that I really do love with it is the color scheme on it. It's very reminiscent of Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter from 2010, which I've also reviewed on the channel as well if you want to go and check that video out after you're done watching this one. But obviously this version has all of Anakin's upgrades to it, and that's what makes it truly the most unique Jedi Starfighter LEGO has ever made. One thing I will say when it comes to the color scheme with this set is that, like Plo Koon's, I'm not sure if I would have preferred the color scheme to have been all dark blue instead of the light blue to go along with the white. You can see that in the Clone Wars, Anakin's does have a lighter and dark blue color to it, but both are closer in color to that darker blue. So while I do personally just like the color scheme and color choice, I can't help but wonder how it would have looked to be done differently in all dark blue. Now, taking a look at the details of our build, starting off at the very front, we have a bit more of a pointed front end with these white cheese slopes that are perpendicular kind of to how the set runs. It just makes for a bit of a bulkier looking design, but I do like it. There is a large sticker that runs down the very front middle of the ship, which looks really good for all of that extra detail it adds in. On the sides of the front, we have these extra kind of wings that I think are mainly there because of the hyperdrive that is attached underneath them. The hyperdrive intakes have stickers on them too. They were not the funnest to attach by any means, but they do look pretty good once you get them on there. In the midsection of the Starfighter, we see all of the built-in striping detail. We have one pair of stickers that also help to get that striping in as well on the sides of that longer piece at the front, but other than that, it's all built in. It's certainly not perfect, but I think it does a good job to get the point across to what the pattern looks like in the show. In the very middle, we have the astromech docking port. Once R4 is in there, you can actually hit this Technic pin underneath the ship to launch the droid out. It's a very basic but fun play feature to be added in there for this build. On the ends of the wings, we have the twin laser cannons, which I'm happy to say is accurate to what the ship has in the show. And to show how much firepower Anakin's ship has, we have a pair of spring-loaded shooters on the top and bottom of each wing. They come with these blue missiles, which do look really good matching the overall color scheme of the build, but the downside here is that the ends of the wings look just very busy, especially with those black fin pieces on the ends also. It's very great for play to have these spring-loaded shooters on them, but for display, this does take away a lot from how the build actually looks here. Two spare missiles are also stored underneath the wings attached to the engines also, so you get just a lot of firepower with Anakin's custom Jedi Starfighter. On the right wing, we have a stickered Republic logo. I don't get why we get these in sticker format. It's always a pain. LEGO used to print them, and I don't get why they just don't still. They could mass print these pieces and use them in so many sets. I think it would make almost more sense to just keep printing them, but it's a sticker. It looks good. It's just a pain, and I wish they would honestly just print them. On the lower sides of the cockpit, there are two clips, and you can use them to store Anakin's lightsaber as well, just so it doesn't get lost during play. Turning to the cockpit, we have the windshield piece. To access it, you just tilt it forward, and inside the cockpit, we have a sticker for the control panel. And what I love about this is that it shows Anakin actually chasing and trying to target Asajj Ventress' ship that we see in the 2D Clone Wars, so it's just a great nod there that you might have missed to that original Clone Wars show that the set is based on. Of course, there's plenty of room for Anakin to sit inside and pilot the Starfighter, and then a little clip that stores a pair of binoculars as well at the very back of the cockpit, which is a nice final addition. On the right side of the cockpit, we have our final sticker, which looks very nice, and then our third final fin on the end of the ship. Turning to the lower side, we have the backs of the engines. Now, one thing that I really like about this design is that the engines run the whole length of the ship underneath the Starfighter, which is actually how it is in the show, so very nice that that detail was added in there and it's accurate, along of course with the accurate blue thrust as well to the build. Lastly, there is one piece of retractable landing gear. The ship does sit on the bottom of the cockpit mainly, but this front-facing landing gear can just keep the ship a bit more stable and more level when it's landed. Overall, I think this is quite an interesting set. It's not from what most of us would consider the real Clone Wars since the 2D show isn't canon, but it's still rather awesome to even have a set from that show at all. Honestly, I think a Munilus 10 LAAT would have been insanely cool to have gotten from it as well, but we can dream. If you grew up watching the original Clone Wars and just have that nostalgia for it, then this is a set you really must have in your collection, especially for that Asajj Ventress minifig, which is just truly stellar. Thank you for watching my review on the 75087 Anakin's Custom Jedi Starfighter. I thought this would be good timing with the upcoming Jedi Bob Starfighter seemingly being very inspired by the design of this version of Anakin Starfighter, and I will for sure be doing a comparison when that set comes out against this one, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see that video when it comes out. As always, let me know your thoughts on the set in the comments down below, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for more LEGO Star Wars set reviews.